Hey, want to hear the worst thing that could happen to you? Well, let's see if you've ever had a best friend tell everyone your biggest secret. Would your best friend ever do that? Well, mine did, and I couldn't believe she could betray me like that. My name is Sam, and I'm 13. You have to listen to what happened and let me know what you'd have done. So, it all started in kindergarten. Rebecca asked me if I wanted to play trains with her. And I loved trains, even though my brother said they were for boys. We played together, and by the end of the day, we were best friends. From then on, we did everything together and even made a promise we would be best friends forever. But then everything changed. When we were 13, Rebecca got more girly while I didn't. Rebecca started talking about boys a lot. How so-and-so was really hot and so-and-so was really funny. But for me, I didn't get the hype. In fact, I thought boys were kinda gross. Rebecca got a crush on a boy in our class, and she would not stop talking about him, even though he wasn't anything special at all. She would obsess over the fact he could do 20 push-ups. Like that was meant to impress me? I could do 20 push-ups. But she said she got a stomachache because she was so nervous when he was around. And one time in math, he accidentally touched her hand. She said she felt sparks run through her entire body. And that was it. When she said that, I thought, oh no, I had felt the same electricity too. It was then I realized I had a crush on Rebecca, my best friend. It made sense. I was queer. I didn't feel the same way about boys as everyone else did. I only thought girls were pretty, but boys? Not so much. So I did everything I could not to think about her. I didn't want to freak Rebecca out and ruin our friendship. I was pretty sure she didn't feel the same way. But I couldn't stop thinking about her. I tried to avoid her and made excuses not to see her. But I knew it wasn't fair on Rebecca to go on like this, or for me. It felt weird not telling Rebecca how I felt, and of course she noticed I was acting differently and asked me what was going on. She said that we were best friends, and best friends never kept secrets. Whatever was happening, I could tell her. So I told her that I thought I had a crush on her and that I wasn't into boys like she was. I thought she'd probably laugh off the crush. You know, like, how could I blame you as I'm so great and all that, and say some kind and supportive words. But she didn't say anything for the longest time. Then she just said, I have to go, and ran off. That was not the reaction I was hoping for. Maybe it was a bit awkward, yes, but I had hoped she would recognize how big a deal this was for me. I mean, I just came out for the first time. Later, I got a text from Rebecca. She said that because of what I told her, she thought we should spend some time apart. I was sad, but I understood. Maybe it was selfish of me to put that on Rebecca when she didn't even know I liked girls. But then the most awful thing happened. The next morning, I checked my phone and discovered that Rebecca had posted about it online. She tweeted, that awkward moment when your best friend of nearly 10 years says she has a crush on you, LOL. My head started spinning. Everyone knew me and Rebecca had been best friends since we were little, and now they would all know my secret. But worst of all, I had to go into school and face it. I was so hurt. How could my best friend do that to me? I had done a lot of reading about coming out, and I knew it was a very special moment that should never be taken away from someone. Outing someone before they're ready is a terrible thing to do to a queer person. I felt so angry, but mostly I felt sad. How could she do this to me? So, what do you think school was like for me the next day? Horrible. Yes, horrible. I ate by myself because I felt like no one wanted to sit with me anymore. I couldn't believe it. Rebecca totally blanked me and sat with the popular girls. I thought, does she even know them? They were all whispering and pointing at me, so I kept my head down and tried to ignore them. I couldn't stand it any longer, and in my head, I thought the best thing for me to do was go and talk to Rebecca, make her understand that her tweet hurt my feelings. So I said I didn't mean to freak her out when I said I had a crush on her. I just wanted to be honest. I didn't mean for her to have to like me back or anything. But she didn't even listen to me. She said loudly, how many times do I have to tell you I'm not interested in you? Then guess what? Things got even worse. Rebecca's tweet had over 20,000 likes and 10,000 retweets. The first comments I read were horrible, like weirdo and stalker, so I didn't read anymore. I didn't want to see or hear from anyone as they always made a comment about it. So I decided to hide. Rebecca had used my story to become cool with the popular girls and didn't care that I was miserable. I realized even though I thought Rebecca was my friend, she wasn't a very nice person. She had outed me before I was ready. I felt like an outcast. I couldn't concentrate on my schoolwork and I started getting bad grades. All I could think about was dreading school. But the worst thing was that it was making me feel ashamed about who I was. And I didn't want that. I wanted to feel proud of who I was and how I felt. I was determined to not feel like that anymore. Then one day, I'd had enough. I heard one of Rebecca's new friends tell her, "Look, Rebecca, there's your stalker." And they all started laughing. I felt my face burn up and I got really angry. I marched right up to Rebecca. I said, "I want you to know I no longer have a crush on you. In fact, I don't even like you as a friend anymore, since you're the type of awful person who tells the world your best friend's secret. How could you do that? I trusted you, and you made something that was meant to be personal and special to me all about you. All those years, I thought I was friends with someone kind and thoughtful, but as it turns out, I was just friends with a bully." Everyone was shocked I had stood up for myself. Rebecca had no comeback, and none of the popular girls even defended her. Suddenly, I realized two people were standing beside me. I recognized them. It was Lisa and Greg from my year who I'd never spoken to. They had tried to talk to me after Rebecca's tweet, and I assumed they would be mean. Lisa and Greg told Rebecca that I have to go now because we had plans at the arcade. Greg whispered to me, "Well done, Sam." And Lisa said, "It's gonna be all right now." They said that they had both seen Rebecca's tweet and were horrified that she outed me like that I could talk to them about anything as they understood. Lisa told me she was bisexual and Greg was gay. I realized that's why they understood. They were queer too. I told them that I didn't know there was any LGBTQIA+ people in school, that I had been so sad and lonely the last few weeks. Greg told me he had felt the exact same. After he came out as gay, he was treated so differently by his football teammates, and he was gutted as he loved football. He was so sad before he made friends with Lisa. Now he's found a queer football club to join. He said if he'd never come out, he would have never found his amazing new friends. I realized I thought I had done the wrong thing by telling Rebecca how I felt, but if I hadn't, I wouldn't be hanging out with two of the coolest people I had ever met right now. Sometimes I still feel bad about Rebecca. It's sad to lose a friend you've had for such a long time. Eventually, even the popular girls got tired of her. They figured out if she told the world my secret, there was no stopping her telling the world their secrets too. She even tried to rekindle our friendship. Kind of. She messaged me asking to hang out. No apology or acknowledgement of what she did wrong though. Nothing. There was no way I wanted to be friends with her again. So, let me know what you thought of my story. And do comment if you want to know what happened when someone tweeted about Rebecca. But that's a whole other story.